Welcome to the ultimate AZ-104 exam masterclass. Are you ready to crack the AZ-104 exam in one go? You're in the right place. In this session, we'll arm you with powerful insights and hand-picked questions that can make all the difference in your exam performance. We've scanned the web using intelligent crawlers to gather the most critical and high-impact questions, all compiled into one powerful PDF resource. You can download it from the link in the description. Not only will we explore these must-practice questions, but we'll also share real exam experiences and pro tips to give you that competitive edge. Let's dive into the key questions that could shape your success. Question 1. Your company has several departments. Each department has a number of virtual machines, VMs. The company has an Azure subscription that contains a resource group named RG1. All VMs are located in RG1. You want to associate each VM with its respective department. What should you do? A. Create Azure management groups for each department. B. Create a resource group for each department. C. Assign tags to the virtual machines. D. Modify the settings of the virtual machines. Correct answer is C. Explanation. Tags let you categorize resources by department, cost center, or owner. This makes management and reporting super simple in Azure. Question 2. You are planning to deploy an Ubuntu server virtual machine to your company's Azure subscription. You are required to implement a custom deployment that includes adding a particular Trusted Root Certification Authority, CA. Which of the following should you use to create the virtual machine? A. The new Azure RMVM Complete. B. The new AZ-VM Complete. C. The Create AZ-VM Complete. D. The AZ-VM Create command. Correct answer is D. Explanation. The AZ-VM Create command allows custom configurations during deployment. It's the most flexible way to inject certificates or scripts. Question 3. Your company has a Microsoft Azure subscription. The company has data centers in Los Angeles and New York. You are configuring the two data centers as geo-clustered sites for site resiliency. You need to recommend an Azure storage redundancy option. You have the following data storage requirements. Data must be stored on multiple nodes. Data must be stored on nodes in separate geographic locations. Data can be read from the secondary location as well as from the primary location. Which of the following Azure stored redundancy options should you recommend? A. Geo-redundant storage. B. Read-only geo-redundant storage. C. Zone-redundant storage. D. Locally redundant storage. Correct answer is B. Explanation. Read Access Geo-redundant storage offers high availability across regions. Plus, it allows read access from the secondary region too. Question 4. Your company has 3 virtual machines, VMs, that are included in an availability set. You try to resize one of the VMs, which returns an allocation failure message. It is imperative that the VM is resized. Which of the following actions should you take? A. You should only stop one of the VMs. B. You should stop 2 of the VMs. C. You should stop all 3 VMs. D. You should remove the necessary VM from the availability set. Correct answer is C. Explanation. Stopping all VMs in the availability set can free up resources. This helps Azure reallocate capacity during resizing. Question 5. You have an Azure Virtual Machine VM that has a single data disk. You have been tasked with attaching this data disk to another Azure VM. You need to make sure that your strategy allows for the virtual machines to be offline for the least amount of time possible. Which of the following is the action you should take first? A. Stop the VM that includes the data disk. B. Stop the VM that the data disk must be attached to. C. Detach the data disk. D. Delete the VM that includes the data disk. Correct answer is C. Explanation: detaching the data disk is the first step before reusing it. It minimizes downtime and keeps both VMs efficient. Question 6. Your company has an Azure subscription. You need to deploy a number of Azure Virtual Machines, VMs, using Azure Resource Manager, ARM, templates. You have been informed that the VMs will be included in a single availability set. You are required to make sure that the ARM template you configure allows for as many VMs as possible to remain accessible in the event of fabric failure or maintenance. Which of the following is the value that you should configure for the platform fault domain count property? A. 10. B. 30. C. Min value. D. Max value. Correct answer is D. Explanation: using the maximum fault domain count boosts fault tolerance. It ensures your VMs stay up during physical rack failures. Question 7. You need to make sure that the ARM template you configure allows for as many VMs as possible to remain accessible in the event of fabric failure or maintenance. Which of the following is the value that you should configure for the platform update domain count property? A. 10. B. 20. C. 30. D. 40. Correct answer is B. Explanation: setting this to 20 spreads your VMs across update domains. That reduces downtime during maintenance. Question 8. You have created some PowerShell scripts to automate the configuration of newly created VMs. You plan to create several new VMs. You need a solution that ensures the scripts are run on the new VMs. Which of the following is the best solution? A. Configure a setupcomplete.cmd batch file in the %winter%setup/scripts directory. B. Configure a group policy object, GPO, to run the scripts as logon scripts. C. Configure a group policy object, GPO, to run the scripts as startup scripts. D. Place the scripts in a new virtual hard disk, VHD. Correct answer is A. Explanation: setupcomplete.cmd runs after the VM is provisioned. Perfect for automating final steps of configuration. Question 9. You configure a reference VM in the on-premise virtual environment. You then generalize the VM to create an image. You need to upload the image to Azure to ensure that it is available for selection when you create the new Azure VMs. Which PowerShell templates should you use? A. Add AZ-VM. B. Add AZ-VHD. C. Add AZ-Image. D. Add AZ-Image data disk. Correct answer is B. Explanation: Add AZ-VHD uploads your generalized VHD image. Once in Azure, it can be used to create new VMs. Question 10. The company has users that work remotely. The remote workers require access to the VMs on VNet 1. You need to provide access for the remote workers. What should you do? A. Configure a site-to-site S2S VPN. B. Configure a VNet to VNet VPN. C. Configure a point-to-site P2S VPN. D. Configure direct access on a Windows Server 2012 server VM. E. Configure a multi-site VPN. Correct answer is C. Explanation: point-to-site VPN is ideal for individual users connecting remotely. It's easy to set up and doesn't require a VPN device. Question 11. You need to create an Azure storage account that meets the following requirements. Stores data in multiple Azure regions. Supports reading the data from primary and secondary regions. Which type of storage redundancy should you use? A. Geo-redundant storage, GRS. B. Locally redundant storage, LRS. C. Read access geo-redundant storage, RAGRS. D. Zone redundant storage, ZRS. Correct answer is C. Explanation: RAGRS allows read access even during regional outages. It adds an extra layer of data durability and availability. Question 12. You need to copy data to the storage account by using the AZ copy tool. Which two types of data storage are supported by AZ copy? A. Blob. B. File. C. Queue. D. Table. Correct answer is A and B. Explanation. AZ copy supports copying blob and file storage efficiently. It's a fast and secure command line utility. Question 13. You need to provide a partner organization with access to storage 1. Access must expire after 24 hours. What should you configure? A. A shared access signature, SAS. B. An access key. C. Azure Content Delivery Network, CDN. D. Lifecycle management. Correct answer is A. Explanation. Shared access signatures give time-bound, secure access. Perfect for short-term external sharing. Question 14. You need to ensure that Storage 1 provides POSIX-compliant access control lists, ACLs. Which option should you configure when creating Storage 1? A. Access tier. B. Hierarchical namespace. C. SFTP. D. Version level immutable support. Correct answer is B. Explanation. Hierarchical namespace enables file-level permissions like POSIX. This is essential for enterprise-scale data access control. Question 15. You need to configure the 2 VMs with static internal IP addresses. What should you do? A. Run the new Azure RMVM config PowerShell command. B. Run the set Azure subnet PowerShell command. C. Modify the VM properties in the Azure Management Portal. D. Modify the IP properties in Windows Network and Sharing Center. E. Run the set Azure static VNet IP PowerShell command. Correct answer is E. Explanation. Set Azure static VNet IP allows you to define a static IP. This ensures the VMs retain consistent internal addresses. Question 16. The VMs will each have both a public and private IP address. Inbound and outbound security rules for all of these virtual machines must be identical. Which of the following is the least amount of network interfaces needed? A. 5. B. 10. C. 20. D. 40. Correct answer is A. Explanation. One NIC per VM can handle both public and private IPs. Azure supports multiple IPs on a single NIC. Question 17. Which of the following is the least amount of security groups needed for this configuration? What should you do? A. 4. B. 3. C. 2. D. 1. Correct answer is D. Explanation. You can reuse a single NSG across multiple VMs. This simplifies security and saves admin effort. Question 18. One of the VMs is backed up every day using Azure Backup Instant Restore. When the VM becomes infected with data encrypting ransomware, you decide to recover the VM's files. Which of the following is true in this scenario? A. You can only recover the files to the infected VM. B. You can recover the files to any VM within the company's subscription. C. You can only recover the files to a new VM. D. You will not be able to recover the files. Correct answer is B. Explanation. Azure Backup lets you restore files to any VM. That flexibility helps during ransomware attacks. Question 19. When the VM becomes infected with data encrypting ransomware, you are required to restore the VM. Which of the following actions should you take? A. You should restore the VM after deleting the infected VM. B. You should restore the VM to any VM within the company's subscription. C. You should restore the VM to a new Azure VM. D. You should restore the VM to an on-premise Windows device. Correct answer is C. Explanation: restoring to a new VM ensures isolation from the infected one. This keeps your environment clean and secure. Question 20. You need to find the cause of the performance issues pertaining to metrics on the Azure infrastructure. Which of the following is the tool you should use? A. Azure Traffic Analytics. B. Azure Monitor. C. Azure Activity Log. D. Azure Advisor. Correct answer is B. Explanation: Azure Monitor provides detailed infrastructure metrics. It's your go-to tool for performance troubleshooting. Check the description for the PDF download link and don't forget to subscribe to this channel for upcoming episodes. Thank you.